Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. Brian Mitsoda has been fired as narrative lead of Bloodlines 2. Brian Mitsoda has been... this is from Rock Paper Shotgun, and then later on from PC Gamer. Back to the news. Brian Mitsoda has been suddenly terminated from his position as narrative lead on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. That this came as a shock to me is underselling it, wrote Mitsoda in an in-mail statement given to RPS. Paradox Interactive have said in their own statement that Mitsoda and creative director Cluney are no longer part of the team at Hardsuit Labs. As you can see in the picture here, this is not boding well from Paradox and the game itself. There has been quite a few delays and quite a few controversies involving the game, and they have been, for instance, as you can see here at the bottom of the article, which will go there later on, but due to what I'm gonna talk about, I need to go and mention this. Cara Ellison is also very much responsible for banning a few games on Australia, and she's a very well-known racist, or in this case sexist as well. She's the NSJW. And as you all know and have seen in the picture that you just saw in the screen, they actually are trying to make it extra woke. The game will be woke. And you can see the looks on her face of... I don't even know why am I trying anymore, because as you can see, they are trying to actually... how do I put it? They are trying to... I don't know if they are actually trying or they are going out of the way or something like that, but they are making the game extra woke, and it's actually starting to make me worried about the stuff they are doing. Damsel was, for instance, as you saw in the picture, she was actually very beautiful in the first game, and in the first game you had actual limitations on polygons and all this stuff. You still have it today, but definitely you have way more, much bigger limit on polygons on the model itself. But as you can see on the character itself, they actually made her uglier for some absolutely odd reason. It doesn't quite fit. It doesn't quite fit to what the character looked like in the first game, but it does, in fact, fit on the narrative of what we are seeing on games as of late, in which they make the women extra ugly, but the males are looking normal or good looking. The best example that I can actually give you is Mass Effect Andromeda. That's the best example. Anyway, back to the news. Mitsoda was a lead writer on the original Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines at Troika Games, and his presence on the development team for its sequel lent the project credibility. Most of Bloodlines 2 marketing has put Mitsoda front and center both in trailers and at events. Paradox, a statement posted to the Bloodlines 2 website, says that the change was a joint decision made by the leadership of Hardsuit Labs and Paradox Interactive. The first red flag that raised on me when they announced Bloodlines was the Hardsuit Labs. They made a very I don't know how to put it, a very limited or a very meh shooter, multiplayer shooter only, and it was a very disappointing game to say the least. It was so meh that I even forgot the actual name of the game itself. I know it was Black something, Black Gate? No? Black Suit? It's Black something game. It was so meh that it was even worse, a footnote on game's history. So that was the first thing that raised me a red flag and saying, okay, this game may not actually be that good. And they're using Unreal Engine. which is, well, not bad by itself, because it's capable of things if the developers know how to do it. But the thing that worries me the most is that it's not very mod friendly. Sure, the developer can actually make it mod friendlier, but it's not very mod friendly, is friendlier or something like that. Anyway, back to the news. We appreciate and value the contributions of Brian and Kai. Kai? I don't know how to pronounce his name, which were instrumental in establishing the game's storyline and dark tone, and have helped to ensure that we are making a true successor to the iconic Bloodlines. We wish them both the best on their future endeavors. In statement continues. I don't know what they're thinking. In which statement to RPS, which is quoted a full... Oh, before I even forget about it, they also fired, and I'm pretty sure part of the reason of the delay of the game itself is because of the allegations against Chris Avellone, which I think it has no basis on reality. Chris Avellone, if you're not aware, and giving you a quick note, he has been Me Too'd. And Unheard Labs and Paradox Interactive has been kind of active in trying to erase their connections with him because he got Me Too'd. I'm tired. We appreciate and value the contribution. Okay, I already read that. And I think part of the reason why the game got cancelled is because of this. In this statement to RPS, which is quoted in full below, Mitsoda says that he is incredibly disappointed and frustrated, to say that this is where it ends for me on the project. He says that he's been involved in the project since its very beginning, in charge of narrative, and he had never led to believe that it hadn't succeeded in fulfilling the project goals. He also describes the game's marketing as something which was intensively difficult and took a mental and physical toll. Bloodlines has been delayed several times during the development, with the most recent delay announced last week and moving the game into 2021, which is exactly what I've said before. And what I've been saying, that this delay may actually be related to Chris Avellon's departure and his attack on things. Oops, I forgot to actually switch the screen. I boomerized this video again. Paradox statement about the delay mentioned the organizational changes, which is what I think is leading us to believe it's related to Chris Avellone. That they would be announcing soon, which would help them ensure the best play experience possible. This is presumably those changes. Today's announcement also says that Alexandri Mandrika is joining the project as a creative consultant. Okay, let's move on. Alexander has been in the industry for more than 20 years and has worked in iconic franchises such as Assassin's Creed, Warhammer 40,000, but what exactly he has worked on Warhammer 40k? Is it one of the games itself? On the actual franchise with Games Workshop, or something else? I do not know. Sanders Bandrik is more of a replacement for Kai Cluney than Mitsoda. It's not unusual for developers to leave the project during development, but it is unusual for creative leads and public faces to depart, and particularly unusual for them to be fired, even in instances where development lead could be seen disrupting or slowing development. You would more likely work to minimize their role in the production process than dismiss them entirely. In any case, you don't upset the vampire cart if the vampires are heading where you want them to. Okay, here is the statement. It's pretty long. I don't know if it's going to be, I'm gonna bother reading everything, just the important bits. Anyway, here it is. That this came as a shock to me is underselling it. I've worked on Bloodlines 2 for almost 5 years. The story and makecast was initially conceived in my living room. I helped develop the pitch for Hardsuit Labs and helped pitch the project to Paradox in Las Vegas. I have been in charge of the narrative since the beginning, working long days and sometimes weekends to deliver a successor to Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines, and I have never been led to believe that I hadn't succeeded. Very obviously, I have also been involved in the PR marketing side of things. Even though it was one of the most difficult parts for me. I'm a pretty private person. I know what you mean, dude. I'm pretty private too. Press and crowds tend to heavily trigger my social anxiety, which if you ever wondered about the gloves, they are armor that makes me feel less exposed in situations that trigger my anxiety. Bloodlines and the fandom of the game mean the world to me, so I lent my legacy with the franchise, my name, and my participation in marketing efforts for the game, even when it was intensely difficult and took a mental and physical toll, which is all because I wanted to do what was best for the game and the team. I wonder what they are doing with him. I wonder what will happen to him. The pride in my work, the fun expectation, and the support from the co-workers who started out as fans kept me going through this for a long 5 years. Okay, it was incredible conversation, delay in the production. It was a pleasure to work on this game with my... Okay, so this is pretty much cookie cutter stuff. I'm sorry I won't be able to see it again. I spent 5 years. So it's a shame to actually see him leave this. So thank you all for who all supported him. Now, this is all the things... his departure, and because Karen Ellison is still working on Bloodlines 2, and among others, plus, as you can see in the picture over here of Damsel, let's give it a zoom. As you can see here, this is not giving me a lot of faith in the project itself. This is probably the only picture of a woman that I actually saw from the game that looks okay. Anyway, this is from PC Gamer, and they pretty much quote or goes in detail, not as in detail as RPS, but they also mention it from PC Gamer. PC Gamer and RPS are pretty much the same thing. People who work on PC Gamer also work on RBS, so and this is starting to really make me wonder what the fuck is going on with this game. It started with instant pre-order for me, to then to and then to this is starting to worry me, to then okay, I better not pre-order, to okay, this is starting to worry me a lot, to red flags, to maybe this is not going to be good, to I'm starting to feel very worried to this game, to now to okay, this might actually be a dumpster fire. So sit back and relax and enjoy the fireworks. If it's good, you order it, but later on, after it was released and after we see the shit show, if there is one. Right now I'm exactly on that point. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Good night.